And then his brother one day looks at his drawing and basically makes fun of it, says like, what is that? And the boy is crushed, and he decides, then he starts like drawing, and he wants everything to be perfect, and he gets completely frustrated, and he takes his last drawing and he throws it away, and he says, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. And his sister picks up the drawing, and she runs into her room, and he runs after her, and he gets in her room, and all around her room are all his discarded drawings that she's flattened and hung up. And he looks around, and he's dumbfounded. And he looks at one and he says, oh, and she says, that's my favorite. And he says, yeah, that was supposed to be a vase. And she says, well, it's vase-ish. And then he realizes, like, it doesn't have to be the way everyone else sees it. Art for him is all about expressing the way he sees it. So he decides to live his life in, the author tells us, an ishful way. And so I've had wonderful conversations with children about, what does that mean? What does living life ishfully mean? And it's interesting because some children will say, well, basically, I mean, they don't use these words, but basically they say, sounds like a cop-out to me. Like, ishful means you don't have to try very hard. And other children will say, well, wait a minute, I don't think that's right. I mean, maybe that can be true. Maybe someone could use it as an excuse. But I remember a child said, but couldn't it also mean that you just like sort of enjoy what happens in your life without having to like be in charge of all of it, So, and finally, I'll talk about one more story, and then I'll take questions, because this is a classic story, and that's The Ugly Duckling, which is a wonderful story for raising questions, and particularly about beauty. And I think it's really important to talk with children about what makes something beautiful and what beauty is, because we live in a culture that idolizes a very narrow form